Merry Christmas Eve. Ha. Ow. Welcome, welcome. Oh. Oh, I didn't turn the hot dog on. That's okay. Maybe next time. Okay, I've been tracking Santa this morning. Okay, my own question was answered. I was wondering if Santa actually flew over North Korea, and he does. I don't know what I was thinking. Of course there's people on the good list in North Korea. Why would there not be? How rude. But he did. He flew over North Korea. He's currently in China. I feel like he was in China, and then he was in Taiwan, and then he went back in China. Also, there is a crazy elf in here who's calling everyone Santa deniers. So that's happening. I tweeted that out earlier. I'm going to plug this in. Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay, person who joined, can you hear? I didn't have that plugged in at first. Merry Christmas. Ears? Did you mean yes? Hi, MacGyver. Merry Christmas. I've been fascinated by the NORAD Santa tracker this morning. Oh wait, Santa is in the chat. Whoa, sorry guys, I'm very busy driving my sleigh. If you'll just be patient until I get back to you, that would be great. Santa's in the chat. There's also this crazy elf in the chat who's calling everyone Santa deniers. Christmas. American Airlines today, I don't know if you saw the news earlier, American Airlines was completely grounded earlier today. They had a technical difficulty or a technical issue. They were only grounded for about an hour, but that stinks. I don't think I would ever want to fly on Christmas Eve. I don't know about you. Ever. A Merry Christmas. I looked up earlier today, and the busiest day to travel is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. I thought it was the day before Thanksgiving. It's not. The busiest day to travel is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. A Merry Christmas. Okay, what's everyone's Christmas tradition? Ours is on, okay, so after I finish this, I'm gonna go finish my Christmas shopping. So wish me luck. And then, but usually what we do is like my immediate family, on Christmas Eve, we spend that together. And we always open one gift. That's the tradition. I don't know. What do you guys do? We open one gift, and then we just, I don't know, we have wine and snacks. We usually don't do a dinner. We just kind of graze. And then we get up early the next morning, open gifts at home, and then we all go to my aunt's house for a big brunch. And we do a little bit of it in exchange there. But that's the tradition. When I was younger, it used to be my dad's grandma was Christmas Eve. She would always have a big party, and we would open gifts. And then my mom's, did I say my dad's grandma? My grandma on my dad's side. And then my grandmother on my mom's side, we would do her place in the morning. But they're both dead, so. They are, but I didn't mean that. That was dark humor. They passed away. Let's see. My one grandma passed away. I was really young. I think I was in 6th grade when she passed away. She was young too. She had some heart issues. And then, how old was I? My other grandma died. I don't remember, but she was in her 80s. She was up there. Good women. Hello, welcome. Merry Christmas Eve. Wait, where is Santa now? I think Santa is still in China. Santa's in China. Is there any good news this morning? They still have not identified the woman on the subway. I'm guessing they probably want to notify her family before they publicly identify her. I don't know if she was homeless or not. She was asleep at 7:30 a.m. on the train, and it was a Sunday morning, so she could have been there overnight sleeping. I don't know. But I imagine they're trying to get a hold of her family. Merry Christmas. Grandparents passing is such a treacherous event. Yeah, it was really sad. And I never really had, both my grandfathers passed away before I was born, so they were really my only grandparents. I don't know if you heard, but some of the So Biden did his basically pardon of the 37 people who are on the federal list to get the death sentence, and he pardoned 37. Now some of the family members of the victims are speaking out, and they're not very happy about it. Granddad's always sneaking you $5 every chance they get. My grandmother used to send us $2. She would send a check and write it out for $2. Like on Valentine's Day and Halloween, she would send us cards, and there would be legit a check for $2 in there. I kind of miss that. And then she actually lived pretty far away. She lived in Pennsylvania. My parents, we lived in Georgia. My parents moved down there for a job, so we would only see her a few times a year, and she would fly down. She was one of those grandmothers where every meal was just a full-on Thanksgiving dinner, and she was also like always trying to push food on you. So she would fly down, and her suitcase would be filled with food. She would fill it with food and bring it down for us. Hello, Merry Christmas. Wait, where is Santa now? Huh? Okay, Santa will be in Brunei in 2 minutes. I want the crazy elf to come back. I was telling them earlier there was a crazy elf on here who was calling everyone Santa deniers and telling people they were on the naughty list. I'm watching the NORAD tracker. How is the trip going, Santa? That mug of Joe is it's definitely not big enough. Actually, it's a festive. Dear Santa, I can explain. I didn't even do that on purpose. It was just happened to be a rather large mug. Okay, what's the news? Oh, this is so funny. Ooh. I actually watched this interview. So Tucker Carlson released an interview with the guy, who is it? The Teamsters boss. Okay. Teamsters president Sean O'Brien stunned Tucker Carlson when he revealed Kamala Harris told his own union's vice president, "I'm gonna win with or without you." She was so arrogant. Oh my gosh. I was like, I actually didn't believe this. I was like, she's got to think she's losing. There's no way they think they're winning this campaign. And even during the campaign, the whole time, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, they're either like, I don't know, they're either cheating or what. Like, they can't be this comfortable with just being that horrible. But they were. And they were just that out of touch. So, Teamsters president Sean O'Brien stunned Tucker Carlson when he revealed Kamala Harris told his own union's vice president, "I'm going to win with or without you." The often combative union boss declined to endorse Harris or Donald Trump in November. He pointed out that he'd been given a platform at the Republican convention, but none at the Democrat convention. O'Brien pulled many of the Democrat skeletons out of the closet in the interview with Carlson, describing an arrogant Democrat nominee pushing them to step the line. He spoke about a meeting his Lieutenant John Corey had with Harris in June before Biden dropped out of the race. After she introduced herself and was there with the Teamsters, Harris became demanding. This is exactly actually what we heard from her very own staff. I don't know if you remember the reports that were coming out about Kamala Harris very early on. And that's what her own staff was saying, that she was kind of unhinged and demanding and would never prepare herself. Was always unprepared, I guess. He spoke about a meeting his Lieutenant John Corey had with Harris in June before Biden dropped out of the race. After she introduced herself and said she was with the Teamsters, Harris became demanding. Oh, sorry, I already read that. "Teamsters, you better get on board. You better get on board. Better get on board soon," the candidate told the union boss. Good morning. Wait, I think my chat paused. Okay, there we go. Later, O'Brien discussed a meeting his union leadership had with the then nominee Harris, where she was refusing to answer certain questions they asked every candidate. Her declaration on the way out was, "I'm going to win with or without you." Oh, how funny. We're talking about Kamala Harris. Tucker Carlson just did an interview with the Teamsters guy. An incredulous Carlson at one point joked, "Damn, I thought I was arrogant. That's really arrogant." O'Brien tried to speak with Mary Walsh, Biden's former Secretary of Labor and now the head of the National Hockey League's Players Association, and was similarly befuddled. "Let me ask you a question, Marty. Excuse my French. Who does this effing lady think she is?" He also confirmed what many have believed of Joe Biden when he met him, long after he'd initially asked and long after Trump had committed to the same process. "We had Biden in there, and you could just clearly tell he was not the man he was. It was kind of sad." He said Biden was good for the labor movement and saw him personally as a nice older man, a nice older gentleman. However, it was clear to O'Brien in his meetings that the president had lost a step. Duh. What they were doing to him, the Democratic Party, kind of looked like elderly abuse to me. Wow. He said his union gave 16 questions to each candidate and Bryan would only answer 5, whereas Trump and even the likes of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Cornel West would answer all 16. O'Brien said that Harris only answered 4 before making her shocking and eventually incorrect declaration that she would win. Merry Christmas! The Teamsters president has been a thorn in the side of the Democrats, who have usually counted on labor unions to roll over and endorse regardless of circumstances in national and local elections. In October, O'Brien described himself as to podcaster Theo Vaughn as a Democrat, but believes the party may no longer be the right one to represent the working class. Bingo! I'm a Democrat, but they have effed us over for the last 40 years. And for once, we're standing up as a union saying that, what the F have you done to us? I'm getting attacked from the left, since I've been in office over 2.5 years and have given the Democrat machine $15.7 million. We've given Republicans about $340,000, truth to be told. So it's like, people say the Democratic Party is the party of the working people, but they're actually bought and paid for by big tech. Now you have the Republicans who are now saying, hey, want to be in the working class party? And okay, you've got a great opportunity to do that right now. This is the second major Democrat within the past week or so that has come out against the Democratic Party. The first one, Lindy Lee, hold on. Actually, let me play you a clip of Lindy Lee, so you'll hear the audio. So she was pretty high up in the Kamala Harris campaign. She was responsible for securing millions in donations, and she was furious after. Okay, this is her on Piers Morgan.
Quickly, haven't they?
Yeah.
The Democrats have got to move on quickly, haven't they?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. She's indulging delusions of running for governor in California in 2026 and perhaps even running for president in 2028. And I just want to echo what a lot of you guys already said. This past week has been harrowing for me. This Saturday, I went on Fox and Friends and I said that Democrat.
Wait, is that true? Is Kamala Harris thinking? Heather Bishop says, I don't think I'm ever going to be tired of the election fallout. Me neither. We're going back to that in a second. But I was curious. Harris debates her future, a run for California governor that would, oh, no, that cannot happen in California. The only thing worse than Gavin Newsom being in charge of California is Kamala Harris being in charge of California. That's the only thing that's worse. Okay, let's keep watching. This is fun. This is what we like. Let the good times roll. It's going to be a good year.
Democrats have a stench of loser hang over them.
Yeah.
Wait, let's listen to that again. It's satisfying.
The Democrats have got to move on quickly, haven't they?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. She's indulging delusions of running for governor in California in 2026 and perhaps even running for president in 2028. And I just want to echo what a lot of you guys already said. This past week has been harrowing for me. This Saturday, I went on Fox and Friends and I said that Democrats have a stench of loser hang over them.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that, there were boycott campaigns against me, unblock, unfollow campaigns. I lost 40,000 followers.
Really?
In 4 days. People have called me the W word. I don't know what we're allowed to say, but you can fill in the blank.
We're uncensored. Let's say it. Say it. Say what the word was.
Am I allowed?
It's Piers Morgan Uncensored.
To?
Yeah.
Well, they called me a whore. They called me the C word. They asked
Disgusting.
for me to be deported. And you can just search for my name in those terms on X and you'll see a bunch of them. So, all these so-called Democrats, the party of inclusion, the party of diversity, masks off. And it's even worse because they pretend to occupy the moral high ground. They pretend to be, so loving and caring and embracing of diversity. But all of a sudden, when I dare to utter any criticisms of the goddess, Kamala Harris, I get ostracized. Me, after having raised...
She's actually kind of funny. She's pretty bold if you think about it. I'm surprised she was a Democrat for so long. So if you're just joining, we're listening to, this is Lindy Lee. She was really high up in the Kamala Harris campaign, and she was responsible for securing obscene amounts of money in campaign donations, and a lot of her donors were pissed after the election, and she was pissed after the election. We also just read a story about just how delusional Kamala Harris was and really thought she was going to win, and she thought she had it in the bag. Kamala Harris was also toying with the idea of running for California governor. No, ma'am. Anyway, this is Lindy Lee on Piers Morgan ranting, and it's brilliant.
Tens of millions of dollars for the party. My donors are pissed. They raised $2.5 billion across Super PAC in the campaign. It's my responsibility. It's my duty of care to ask what the hell happened with that money? Why did we spend it? Why did we spend millions of dollars on 5-star hotels for campaign staffers? Why did we spend $500,000 essentially bribing Al Sharpton moments before he interviewed Kamala? These are legitimate questions, but no, in the cult, you can't ask questions.
Yeah.
And leaving the Democratic Party or even questioning the Democratic Party is like leaving a cult. It's terrifying. Pierce, I don't want that. I don't want to be a part of this tent. I don't want to be a part of this craziness anymore. They're accelerating my rightward shift. I don't want this nonsense. It's just...
That's what they don't realize they're doing, and it blows my mind that they're still so out of touch with reality. They are pushing people. They are pushing people out of the Democratic Party. That's exactly what happened to me years ago. And you.
Crazy. And honestly, they're shrinking their tent. They're basically telling me to they're pushing me to bring my tens of millions of dollars that I've raised and can continue to raise to a different team that treats me better, that treats me with just common decency, that doesn't call me a communist spy. By the way, the communist...
Oh, this is the best part.
Regime in China killed my great-grandfather. They don't know my family's history. This is the first time I'm really saying it on air. They are calling me a spy for the regime that killed my great-grandfather. Let that soak in just for a second. That's how disgraceful they are. Yeah. And these are the people who call themselves the social justice warriors. They are dabbling. They are going headfirst into racism anytime someone dares to disagree with them. I don't want to be a part of this nonsense anymore. I want to be a part of the team that says men are men and women are women, and then men shouldn't play in women's sports. And I'm an athlete myself. I'm a marathon runner.
Wow. Go off. China. Speaking of China, where is Santa Claus? Santa Claus is in Australia. Oh, that song is in my head after the Kim Kardashian thing. Santa just said, if you don't get out of my sleigh right now, I'm not leaving you anything. I need more information. Okay, the moderator in the chat is very unhinged in the NORAD Santa tracking system. So the moderator just said oh dang. Okay, the moderator just said non-believers and naughty children will get a lump of coal in their stocking for being a denier. There was an elf in here that was calling everyone Santa deniers. Now we're having a free speech debate. This is getting unhinged. Yeah, Evan Freshwater said, did you listen to her reason? Understanding moral compass or principle. Well, I think that's, well, she listed other reasons too, I think. But I think she was pointing out as well, as soon as you say anything against them, as soon as you question anything, you're not even allowed to question anything. As soon as you do that, you are all of a sudden public enemy number one. I remember when I first started sort of like getting interested in I was just curious, what's going on here? Why is there this like visceral reaction to Trump? That's how my whole little trajectory into wanting to understand right-wing politics a little bit more. I did notice that abandonment with the working class really early on. My parents are in the working class, and I would watch like millionaire celebrities making fun of like my parents or people like my parents, you know, and I'm like, that's really gross. And then you just start looking into things. You don't question because they're the party of the working class. They're the party of they want to help the poor. They're pro all of this stuff, all the good things, right? But then you look at the reality, and sometimes that takes a while for people to take the veil over their eyes and see it for what it is. And sometimes I do think it takes personal attacks to open your eyes and see it totally for what it is. No doubt it's a cult. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember, sorry. I don't know what just happened. Oh, hold on. My microphone became loose. Okay, wait. How do I feel about, hold on, let me finish that thought. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? What about now? Now? Okay, I'll get to Brett Cooper in a second. Let me finish that thought. Yeah, it is like a cult, and it is kind of traumatizing to have people that you've maybe known for a long time or people that you thought were your allies and they know your heart, and then you can't even question anything when you can clearly see that things are worth questioning. Brett Cooper's situation. Here's how I feel about that. It does seem like there was some drama going on there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's, there definitely seems like there was something really odd going on. The reason I don't really care about it too much is because, well, okay, here, let me figure out how to frame that. I don't really care about the drama too much. I find it a little strange that people are so invested in it because if anything, no matter if they did her dirty or not, she's going to come out on top. And they ruined the comment section, in my opinion. And it really sucks. I think the biggest victim in the entire thing, even though she probably isn't innocent, and you can ask whether that was morally correct of her to take that job, is that girl Reagan. She's the biggest loser in the whole thing. This is her introduction to the public, and people remember that first impression. And it is true that the comment section was the concept of the Daily Wire, and they hired Brett to fill that role, so they own the EP on that show. That is their show. That is their concept. But when you introduce Brett and that concept, people fall in love with the personality, not the concept of the show. So I think a smart thing for them to do were to sort of, yeah, keep the show in that age range, that 22-year-old, like college age range, keep the show in that range, but make the concept a little bit different, and then hire someone that is of equal substance of Brett, but totally different personality, just totally different flavor. But again, equal substance, just different. And instead, they kept the concept exactly the same, the set exactly the same. They put someone in this role who emulates the mannerisms, and it's really, and I believe Brett Cooper is what, 22, 23, and Reagan is 29. There's nothing wrong with being 29. I'm older than that, but it's supposed to be a show for that age range. So all of that makes it kind of creepy. And really, the Daily Wire with that whole situation, they hurt themselves, and they hurt Reagan, I think, more than anything. Yeah, the Brett will be fine, and the Daily Wire will be fine. The only thing that probably won't be as fine is that show and Reagan. That's why I'm saying, like, I think that's the biggest loser in the whole situation, which is sad. I think they should have announced that, I don't know, maybe they're changing the show and they do like a little talent search and find someone else to fill that role, because the public is also associating Reagan with kind of doing her friend dirty, and Brett is the personality of the show, so people are going to be more loyal to Brett than Reagan. So clearly they're not going to want to stay on the show. So I was shocked. At first, I thought the drama was all made up, because I was like, there's no way that a network would do something like this. Like, that just didn't seem very smart, especially when they had such a good thing going with Brett and the show, and it was just growing and growing. So that was very strange. But yeah, the Daily Wire is going to be fine. And I always say, when people are like, oh, the Daily Wire, it's so bad, don't ever, so I've personally met Michael Knowles, and I've met Andrew Clavin. They're two hosts that I really like with the Daily Wire, and they're both really solid people. They're exactly like what you see on TV, really nice, really respectful, really down to earth, just like you see them on their show. So to me, and I really like Matt Walsh too a lot. So I try not to follow networks. I try to just listen to and follow the people that I like and respect. So there's that. It's always better. Reagan will find her own stride. Honestly, I hope she does. Is Michael as calm in real life as on TV? Yes. Yeah, really nice. And I still like Ben a lot. Like Ben, he had a really good take on a few things. Like, and I have people too, like I don't listen to their opinions on everything, but there are some things that I like to hear their takes on, if that makes sense too. I always find it weird too when people feel like just because you follow someone, you have to agree with every single thing that they say. Sometimes I actually like hearing others' opinions, and I might have topics that I'm curious about what they think and others that I just kind of don't care for. Where's Santa? But the reason I thought, again, I didn't think there was a lot of drama there was because, well, let's read. Is there an article about it? I think there was because also to me, that's sort of the ideal trajectory for someone like Brett Cooper would be to eventually be independent. So maybe it was sooner than what she thought. I don't know. But she'll be just fine, probably even better independently. I love Andrew is really, to me, Andrew Clavin is really underrated. I'm maybe not underrated. I'm sure he does very well, but a lot of he has he's really, really interesting. I like him too because he used to work in Hollywood, like in the movie business. So he has really interesting takes about Hollywood. It's almost like the Brett Cooper thing. It's almost like when a new artist covers another artist's song, and that song is really iconic, and the way the original artist did it was really iconic. And then when you try to be exactly that, you kind of have to put your own flavor into it and do your thing and be you in that role. And yeah, it's really interesting. Someone just posted on X, is there anyone else in their pajamas drinking coffee and scrolling through X? Yeah, but I'm doing it with a few friends. Hold on, should I tell them? Let's tell Twitter that we're live. Hold on, let me pull up my YouTube. YouTube. Merry Christmas, broken patriot. Hopefully you're fixed after the election. I feel like we just got through Revenge of the Hall Monitors. Like, I think Revenge of the Hall Monitors is over now. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm on my own YouTube channel watching myself. Okay, we're gonna tell Share. Copy. We're going to tell X where we are. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Evan Freshwater. Okay, copy. Okay, I said we are live right now on YouTube doing just that. Paste. On X and tracking Santa. Come join. Okay. Howdy, walkie-talkie. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm broken because I have stage 4 congestive heart failure. Oh my goodness gracious, I am so sorry. I will pray for you and your health. Broken Patriot. Let's all think about Broken Patriot and his health. I will pray for you today. DW is very stern in their points of coverage. Sometimes employees got to spread their wings solo style. That's where I come from. I've worked in media for a little bit. I actually used to work. I used to work for a small production company, and we actually had a contract. We were on Blaze TV. That's Glenn Beck. I think, yeah, that's Glenn Beck or Blaze Media. I don't know what it is now, but that's what we were doing. That's what we were on. And I don't know. I just having experiences like those, like working for production companies and then working for yourself, it's so much more freeing and empowering, I feel like, to work for yourself. That's not an ugly sweater, but it's very profound. Yes, it is very profound. It's very profound. It's a onesie. It's very profound and very comfortable. Okay, where's Santa? NORAD tracker. But I don't let it slow it down. I gotta keep moving forward. Absolutely. Okay, this is where Santa is right now. I didn't know this was a thing. It says Santa is in the settlement. Christmas Island. And there's a Christmas Island? What? That can't be real. Oh, it's real. That's a real thing. There's an Australian territory called Christmas Island. You learn something new every day. This is an educational channel. Why is Christmas Island famous? Nicknamed the Galapagos. Is that how you say it? Nicknamed the Galapagos. Moving on. The island is famous for its red crabs, seabirds, whale sharks, and spectacular coral reefs. Okay, so Santa is in Christmas Island. It's not far from Easter Island. What? Wait, have you ever heard of, hold on, Kuaka? Okay, so there is an animal. It's called a quokka, and it only exists in this island off the coast of Australia, and they're known as being the world's happiest animal. Hold on, I'm going to show you pictures. And on this island, they have no predators, so they're also extremely friendly and will go up to people when they visit the island. And they look like they're always smiling. Hold on, let me see if I can. Let's see. Look, it's a marsupial, I think. How cute. How cute. Yeah, they take selfies. Here, I'll show you a quokka selfie. They're so cute. But people can go, see, they're very friendly. Hold on, let's see if we can quokka selfie. I didn't know they were the land of the black swans. Oh my gosh, this is a good one. See, look. And that's what people do. I love it. Quokka selfies. What's the deal with the cute Australian critter? Until recently, many people outside of Australia had never heard of the quokka, a muppet cute despite its beady eyes and rat tail marsupial with an irresistible smile. But I don't want to sign in. I don't want to sign in. It's going to make me sign in. Hold on. Hold on. The quokka, an irresistibly adorable and happy-looking marsupial native to Australia, is now at the epicenter of what is possibly the cutest trend we've ever seen, the quokka selfie. During their vulnerable status in the IUCN Red List, handling these critters is a crime, but they are not afraid of humans and will readily approach them, so taking a selfie with one shouldn't be too difficult, and given how happy they always look, it's almost like they like the attention. So cute. I love it. Say cheese. But I think that's why they're so friendly. Or I read that somewhere. I feel like I read that somewhere. They're so friendly because they don't have any predators on the island. Yay. Speaking of Christmas, I don't know if you saw, it's like celebrity gossip, I guess. Kim Kardashian released a music video to her covering the song Santa Baby, and it was just the weirdest, most unnecessary, like demonic thing you've ever seen. It's basically like, it's just following her. She's singing it in a creepy low voice. It's following her crawling around what looks like the morning after a rager. It has all of these background characters that don't make any sense. It's just, it's like mocking Christianity, and the whole thing is just, it doesn't even make sense. But let's read. She got a lot of backlash. It was interesting too, because even if you look at the comment section on her own posts, it's just, you have to hunt to find a positive comment. But I had the theory that this was purposeful rage bait because Kim Kardashian hasn't been relevant for a while. And I just don't think she cares whether it's good press or negative press. I think to her it's just press. And she plays the game. That's what I think. I could be wrong though. Kim Kardashian's cover of Santa Baby has fans talking and leaving many confused. On Sunday, the reality television star shared the music video for her take on the Christmas song Kardashian 44 was seen in a home video style filming, crawling on her hands and knees in a blonde bob wig. Kardashian crawled past a donkey. Kardashian crawled past a donkey next to the Virgin Mary Christmas tree. The Skims founder wore underwear, socks, and heels that she crawled her way to Santa Claus. Eventually, Kardashian did make it to the jolly old man and ran her fingers up his leg before the camera panned away to reveal another A-lister, Home Alone star Macaulay Culkin. Kardashian project, directed by Nadia Lee Cohen and Charlie Dennis and produced by Travis Barker, had the internet in uproar right after the holiday. This is disturbing, and she claims she's a Christian. That's absurd. I'm so confused, Kim. What are you doing? This is a weird button. This is so cringe and weird. Your time has passed, honey. Take a seat. Why? I always knew she was demonic. She just confirmed it. So there's that. It's also just, it's the content creator economy too, where people are using rage bait in order to go viral. Oh no. Fun fact, most Australians can't throw. All content creator off topic, justice for Laken. Absolutely. Laken Riley. Fun fact, most Australians can't throw a boomerang, and it's not required to know how to graduate high school. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, Laken Riley, that story, that was a really, really tough story. I think that whole week, that was a hard week to watch her trial. I'm reading right now So the woman who unfortunately was burned on the subway, she hasn't been publicly identified yet. There's been one lady that people have been, I've seen rumors that it could possibly be her, but I haven't seen that confirmed anywhere. And a lot of people were questioning, I know this is really graphic, but why she was standing there and she wasn't moving. And I was questioning that at first too. Now when you think about it, it really does seem like her body was in shock. But this is going to explain, just warning, this is graphic. So if you have any kids, tell them to go bye-bye. Earmuffs. Earmuffs, no kids. So this is what happened to her body. Bill Ackman shared it. So he says, warning, the below medical description of the subway victim's death is horribly graphic. I repost it because I believe it is important to understand the gravity of what took place on our New York City subway and why open borders combined with sanctuary cities, free hotels, and debit cards are destroying our cities and our country. This is very correct. So this was shared by Matt W. Graver. And he says, so he poured something on her and lit her on fire while she was sleeping. She awoke in extreme agony. When people burn, their tendons lock in place. I've seen this happen to people in combat. She was sleeping and stood up. She was probably almost deceased by the time she stood up. Her lungs would not be processing oxygen. Her throat and eyes would have been burned beyond use. She reflexively stood up and took a couple of steps steps. She couldn't scream, and her vocal cords were burned to cinders. She reached out, and as she did, she grabbed the rail. Her hands grasped it, her tendons stopped working, and she was stuck holding the pole. That rocking motion and her feet moving, that's both involuntary and nerve damage, and the liquid in her body boiling. Her muscles are moving as they expand and contact due to the intense heat. She's been standing there rocking back and forth, boiling, and her body fat is burning. Yeah. I agree with him. It's really graphic, but that's what was happening. A lot of people were confused about that, but I do think it's important to know the gravity of what happened. There are videos of this guy, and there are videos of this guy, and I want to be clear. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen. Because you're going to see another video of him that's being shared, the killer. You're going to see another video of him that's being shared, and people are saying it was either, I even got it confused, but people are going to say it's of him the same day, either right before or right after. It's not. When he was arrested, you can see that the shaved side of his head is grown out a little bit, like an inch. It's grown out an inch. And in that video of him that he took on the subway, it's freshly shaven. So yes, he was wearing the same sweatshirt. Let me show you a piece of this video. Hold on. Let me find it. You can see he's highly intoxicated. So if you see when he's arrested, he's got like, it's grown in like an inch. It's freshly shaven here. But he is wearing the same sweatshirt of when he committed the crime. So yeah, look how intoxicated he is. And what he's saying is, I drink my beer as I please, and I live what I am. As long as I don't bother anyone, I don't bother anyone. Why the effing people have problems with me? That is the problem. I don't give a shit. So it's not the same day, but I think that's even more significant that it's not the same day. That goes to show that this guy is just hanging out on the subway, highly intoxicated, just not doing anything with his time. And he's staying in a taxpayer-funded shelter. He probably has a free MTA card. I believe they get free subway cards. He's using that to just hang out on the subway and get obliterated. That's not even like, I'm just a little tipsy. He's out of his dang mind. And I have a feeling that he was probably out of his dang mind when he committed the crime. My mom mentioned, if anyone can confirm this, let me know. I haven't been able to, but my mom did mention that she saw in the news, they were, that he was telling officers that he didn't remember. Well, if he was that intoxicated at the time, he might not have remembered. But clearly he's an animal, and clearly he has no business on the subway. He has no business in the country. He has no business being as drunk as he is in public. He has no business, and the taxpayers are funding this. And I think he probably has a free MTA card. Or would he? I don't know if he's a got-away. I don't know, you guys, actually, if he's a got-away. But he was in the shelter system. You know what? That's a little scary, too, if now you have gotaways. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't matter at all. He's still responsible for his actions. I'm just pointing out how this guy is spending his time in our country. And these are the people that we're giving free stuff to. I don't know if he had a free MTA card. But there was, let me just look at the comments. Somebody said the killer was in the subway using a taxpayer-funded Metro card, $132 a month. A monthly unlimited ride Metro card for the subway and buses in New York City costs $132. This is the same price. Huh. You know, and what's really interesting too, it was Kathy Hochul that was bragging about how she made all these changes to the shelter system, and all the changes that she was bragging about, all of those things were in place at the time of this woman's death. There was a police officer there. She was bragging about how the National Guard and the NYPD are working together to make, and all the cameras are working together to make the subway system safer. Okay, well, there was a law enforcement officer right there. He walked right by. There might have been two of them. I don't know. You can confirm. There was at least one that walked by. There were cameras everywhere. That's how he was seen on camera. There were people, and he was still not only able to light her on fire, he was able to sit there and slowly watch her die right in front of her. He even got up and fanned the flames. He was actually standing next to her fanning the flames at one point when one of the cops walked by. So all of the things that Kathy Hochul bragged about, they were all in place technically. The problem is people are so emboldened, they're so comfortable, and we have millions of people in this country that have no business being here, that have no loyalty to this country, and that have no regard for human life. Many of them probably actually hate and despise Americans. Imagine, and I hate to say it, you guys, but imagine you're an illegal immigrant, okay? You don't have a job. People don't respect you. They don't really want you in this country. You're like 5'4". I mean, I hate to, but you don't care. You don't care. You're probably resentful of the people in this country. You might have even thought you were going to be able to have the American dream, and you're realizing that's a lie. So, I don't know. And a lot of these guys, they're military aged, just like him, and none of them are working or doing anything because they don't have work authorization. They need to go home. They're not benefiting their country. They're not benefiting our country. They're actually a net negative to our country, and they're not benefiting themselves. The American dream is not to hang out on the subway drunk. The American dream is not to sit around waiting on a street corner to go do a DoorDash delivery with 10 other guys who are trying to do the same thing. That is not the American dream. Anywho, where's Santa? Merry Christmas, Tanner. Santa Claus is in Malaysia. That's where Santa Claus is right now. I really miss, there was a crazy elf in here. And I miss him. I don't know where he went. Okay, so the NORAD Santa tracker, it has a chat, and the chat is really funny. Sometimes Santa enters the chat and tells everyone to be patient and calm down. And then there's another elf who enters the chat, and he tells everyone that they're on the naughty list and calls them Santa deniers. Okay, I gotta go. I have to finish my Christmas shopping. I need to get dressed. I need to finish Christmas shopping. Wish me luck. All right, you all. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for joining. If I'm back earlier, I might hop back on and say hello. If not, have a very Merry Christmas. I probably won't see you tomorrow. I'm going to be back on Friday doing more regular live streams. Just need to figure out a schedule that works. And Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful holidays, whether you're with family, friends, or sometimes you're alone, and that's okay too. Okay, bye. Merry Christmas. Ow. off button.